This is the Watchman, giving another clarion call to the Brotherhood. Now, I just had to take a moment to comment on the disturbing trend being seen right now in the U.S. retail sector. Now, this is crucial because remember, the U.S.'s GDP is roughly 70% consumption. So, these troubling signs in retail are a reminder that the recession that the U.S. entered in 2008 is not only still here, but is deepening. There was a recent harrowing article by the New York Times about the state of the American mall, which contained several dozen stark images concerning the ugly and tragic fall of the mall. I urge everyone to go there through the link contained in the description below and take a look because the images you'll see are both sobering and disturbing. Malls for a long time have been a bit of a bellwether for the retail picture as a whole, so this trend we're seeing is ominous. A growing number of malls are either dying or have already died. For instance, personal experience, the mall in my town is probably about 30% empty. 30%! It's on death watch, folks. In fact, last year, JCPenney closed their entire wing of the store, which in itself was about 20% of the entire mall. This is a trajectory that big stores like JCPenney can't seem to turn around either, despite having closed many hundreds of stores, costing tens of thousands of jobs. It seems they're likely to become the next Radio Shack, and that would be devastating to tens of thousands of people. This is no mom and pop store we're talking about here. This is a major commercial enterprise with over 100,000 people on the payroll that would be going down for the count.
But Watchman, people have simply changed their shopping habits and prefer to shop more in strip malls or online. Retail's in great shape.
Oh, really? Because all that new data that's been coming out for the past several days, yeah, that shows the worst numbers in retail since 2009. Okay, retail across the board is going off of a cliff and hard. So it's not just the mall we're talking about. Something larger and gruesome is happening right now in retail as a whole. Unfortunately, this is what happens when a nation believes that consumption and debt is the pathway to wealth and prosperity. Many Americans bought the line, shop till you drop, or the idea that taking on debt is the sign that you've arrived. Yet what has that brought us? It's going on 6 years now since the powers that be first told us that thanks to the heroic efforts of the Federal Reserve and their cohorts on Capitol Hill, that the world was saved, that bank liquidity was boosted, that confidence was restored, and that the derivatives tower was stabilized. We're told that thanks to TARP, the worst times are permanently behind us, that the recovery's in full swing, and that jobs are now so plentiful you have to carry an umbrella so that you won't be hit by one as they fall from the sky like raindrops. We've been told that people are flush with cash, that everyone has health insurance that they can afford, and that everyone is flourishing. But a picture dispels 1,000 lies. We all know the truth. Everyone's flourishing all right. Everyone, that is, except the people on your street, the people in your neighborhood, the people at your church, the people at your work. Basically, every other real person you could think of is straining to stay above water. Perhaps even the people in your home. Perhaps even you yourself are in particularly difficult times. Okay, the pictures of dozens of major malls and other retail establishments across the fruited plain deliver the inescapable truth. This recovery is a sad, cruel joke without a punchline, a maze with no cheese, a complete and utter fiction that not even NBC's Brian Williams could cook up on his best day at work. It's all lies meant to change perception and your behavior. They have to lie, because the entire system is predicated upon the assumption that the American consumer will infinitely going around liberally sprinkling cash everywhere he goes like Johnny Appleseed of yore. The problem with this is that now nearly 2/3 of American consumers are living paycheck to paycheck. The savings the middle class once had is gone, eaten away. replaced by credit card debt, just to help them give a buffer till the next pay cycle. Okay? The quality jobs have been frittered away. That's a fact. But why has this really happened? Okay, this is what happens when a nation ships out their manufacturing jobs, their industries, their factories, their textile plants all overseas, believing it will benefit them. This is what happens when you trust globalist elites like David Rockefeller, who swore up and down many years ago that if we just passed bills like NAFTA and CAFTA, that this would be the Garden of Eden. It's not just online shopping, okay, that's doing this. Malls are dying because Main Street is dying. And Main Street is dying because the policies of Wall Street and D.C. have sucked the lifeblood, the capital, and the industries right out of our very veins. And we're still being bled dry by those same criminals. They've still got an IV in our wrist, and they're still bleeding us, leeching us dry, and telling us the whole time, shh, they're there. This is for your own good. We know what we're doing. Okay, we're now borrowing against, not our assets, those were mortgaged long ago, but upon our previous debts. We're continuing to pyramid more debt upon our Mount Everest of debt. Everybody knows it. Okay, U.S. Treasuries are debt. The plain truth is that we've been paying for the world's goods for years with dollars and treasuries, which are IOUs. You don't pay for imports with IOUs. You pay for imports with exports. This is very simple stuff. But I promise you, this cardinal truth is something that is considered a heresy and anathema by mainstream economists. Now, you and I know the problem, but how can we possibly fix it? Well, we really only have a few options. Either most Americans must cut their own consumption, their lavish spending and lifestyles by at least 30 and maybe 50% and quickly, or we must bring back and reestablish new manufacturing here. And sadly, I just don't see that as a scenario that's going to happen. There's just too many criminals running the banking and political establishment in the U.S. But say even if you worked a miracle, say you canceled NAFTA, stamped out the Trans-Pacific Partnership, and all the other horrific agreements. It couldn't be done quickly, could it? Bringing your factories back is a process that can take years, just as it took several decades to jettison our factories and plants to Bangladesh, to China, to Mexico, to the Philippines. It will take years, perhaps decades, to repatriate these jobs or create new ones. We cannot whisk away the pain that's being keenly felt now. We'll have to slog through it. And while this is sad, I hope it provides an excellent lesson that the peoples of America will not soon forget. You must never rely on consumption and spending to safeguard your economy and lifestyle, because you will run out of assets to mortgage off. You must always fight tooth and nail to keep your jobs, and you must resist every attempt by your criminal government to create a hostile work environment through their countless regulations they place upon you and small businesses to choke off your competitiveness. You must thwart every last attempt by elite families like the Rockefellers to ship quality, sustainable jobs to another country simply because someone there will do it for 50 cents less an hour than you will. You must never buy the line of the elites that any of these multi-thousand-page bills, the NAFTAs, the CAFTAs, the TPPs, you must never think that any of them are free trade. They're not free trade. If they were truly about freedom, they wouldn't be thousands of pages long, right? They'd contain one or two sentences saying, "We hereby declare free trade between ourselves and China." That's it. That's all you'd need for truly free trade. These are micromanaged trade labyrinths, which are always crafted to the benefit of insiders and oligarchs who have lots more lobbying cash than you do. And rest assured, brothers, that any trade deal that's crafted by these crooks will cut them in on every deal and cut you, the middleman, out. Until this system is gone, and the crooks in power are rendered powerless by the monetary collapse, this excruciating bloodletting will continue. Okay, this is another reminder of why we stack silver and gold, right, brothers? Not just to shield us from their crimes, but to dethrone these parasites that are leeching us forever. This is the Watchman signing out. Stay vigilant and bring the fight to them.